as best we possibly can. Didn't get to them until late that evening. Didn't know what to expect. We got there about 11 o'clock at night. Firefight had died down. Helicopters had got some wounded out. They were hit. Some of the dead bodies out. We were to extract them. Front and rear security. Pull them out of that area. Let's take who's left behind. There were 5 bodies that we carried out. On the way out, we hit a little ambush. Stopped. Didn't know what to expect. Word was to leave the bodies. We'll come back and get them. More importantly, get everybody else. So that they couldn't draw attention to where we are, get our points, start lobbying orders on that position. 2 days later, we're coming back. Reinforced platoon. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning. You well know, I've been out in the hills since the break of dawn to get to a position where we are. Temperature was rising about 102, 103 degrees. Humidity was about 86%. Smoke was coming off our body. So welcome relief. Finally found a location, a little wooded area, onto an open race paddock. Order was to, we're moving on. Now, I was 8th in line, and I was carrying an M79 grenade launcher. Order was to keep 5 yards distance between one another, your eyes and ears open, because we know the enemy around. When I had walked out of that open rice paddy, took a couple steps, all of a sudden I heard her point man, who's now maybe 40 yards in front of me. Or at that moment in time, as he made the turn, across the berm on the other side, he saw bodies moving. NBA. He made a drastic mistake. Don't know what was going through his mind. The excitement of the time, not knowing how to respond. And what he did was, he hollered, "Gook, gook." Took a couple shots. They started to run. He chased after them. Pulled us all out onto the open race paddy when all of a sudden the machine guns started to level the area. Let me tell you this, as we well know, for those bodies were flying left and right. Left and right. I went to the left, it seemed like everybody else went to the right. Digging under those race paddies as best possibly can. I saw the machine gun, my responsibility to get some firepower on that. I crawled up to the end of that race paddy, found another one lying below us. 4 guys were pinned down. Rolled over my side, I reached that grenade, when all of a sudden I felt a thud in my left leg, and it started to burn and bled. Damn, I was hit for the first time that day. I discharged my round. I dropped back behind some protection. We got enough firepower on it to cease that machine gun. 4 guys were pinned down, got out. Ultimately, the medic came over, and we crawled back to our commanding officer. But during that period of time, I was sitting in that rice paddy. One of the questions that are asked of me today, more than anything else, at times, not the question of what it's like playing in 4 Super Bowls, who was playing on a national football team, who was playing against the Cowboys or the Oilers or the Oakland Raiders, or what was it like in the locker room. Questions that normal people ask, but sometimes in those late hours, when you're on one-on-one, the question that is asked is, what is it like to be in combat? Because there's no reference point to that experience. We have reference points to everything else. Playing the world game of football, just a different level. We played our backyard, we played baseball, we played basketball. What's it like to be in combat? Well, one side of me says this. Well, obviously the person that has asked me that question never experienced a Catholic education. For those who have, you understand. 8 years of Notre Dame nuns, 4 years of Christian Brothers, 4 years of Holy Cross priests. I can tell you this. There is no one tougher than a Notre Dame sister with a ruler in her hand and righteousness in her eyes. But ultimately, experience kind of made who I am and how you handle conflict. Because they taught me a lot, those good sisters. What did they teach you? Taught you, yes, sister, no, sister. Then it was yes, mom, no, mom. Ultimately, yes, dad, no, dad. Yes, father, no, father. Yes, brother, no, brother. Yes, coach, no, coach. Yes, sergeant, no, sergeant. Yes, dear, no, dear. And one of the things they taught you throughout that whole experience was how to pray. Because you pray for everything. You pray for days off. You pray for no tests. You pray for bad weather. You pray to win games. You prayed that you wouldn't get beat. You prayed that the little blonde in the front row would like you someday. You prayed that you would get good grades. You prayed that you'd win games. And ultimately, you prayed that you'd get home safely from war. But sometimes you got to be concerned about what you pray for. You can pray coming home safe. But ultimately, as we've experienced in times of strife, you have to live with the atrocities that have taken place. You have to live with the injuries of those young soldiers. Our young soldiers coming back today, 300,000 will suffer from post-traumatic stress, TBI, besides physical injuries. We experienced that in Vietnam, but no one listened. We experienced that today, in some years of opening. Was the advocates of that group, of those soldiers, be able to take a look at what had taken place and how we were formed, be able to move forward in the right direction to help our young soldiers today. Throughout that period of time, we missed people, left people. 52,000 died. Names on the walls, friends, family. What took place during that period of time. Something that we need to live with. So it's easy to say thank you and go home. It's not so easy to live with what takes place thereafter. And we just have to understand that. And that's what this archive is all about, that understanding. And so as I'm in that rice paddy, in here I am, the first thought that comes through my mind, the first person I think about is my 6th grade teacher, Sister Bleier, and all the stories that she related during that class about those World War II and Korea soldiers who found themselves in the same foxhole that I find myself, who under pressure of time and need made great promises of doing good things. You get me out of here and I'll become a priest. You get me out of here and I'll build you a hospital. Now all of a sudden, I find myself in that same situation. As we will know, there's no atheists in foxholes. Whatever your higher power may be, we all want to be saved to some degree. And here I was. Oh, damn. No. Okay. Fight the Lord. You get me out of here, and I'll become a... Lord, you get me out of here, and I'll become a... The word priest, I have to tell you, just got stuck. I mean, right here, it just got stuck on the way up. I thought, okay, fine, you get me out of here, and I'll build you a house. And the word hospital got stuck. Because ultimately, in reality, I knew myself kids playing in the backyard in the neighborhood, and we were playing hide and go seek, and we couldn't find the one person at the end, and so it was like ollie, ollie, and free. Everybody's free to do it, you know. I said, I knew myself well enough going, if I get home, things are going well, you know, I just don't know whether I can make that commitment. So I said, here's the deal. If we can make deals, but if we make deals with ourselves, okay, here's the deal. You have my life to do with what you want, all right? I'll share the good times, and I won't complain about the bad times. What do you think? Well, as I said, Medic came over, and he and I called back to our commanding officer, about 40 yards behind us. And we set up another defensive position. I think just to make sure that I was committed to what I had said, he allowed the NBA to probe our perimeter and get a grenade into the area that hit my commanding officer, didn't go off, bounded towards where I was. In a matter of seconds, I had to decide which way to jump, and as I got up, it blew up, and I was standing on top of it. And it blew up to my right foot, right knee, right thigh. So I got hit for the second time that same day. I said, okay, fine. You got my commitment on this one. And so we were in a firefight until the platoon fought its way down. Dragged us out of there. Because the only thing that we really have, if you think about it, is our lives to do with what we want within our community and how we share it. But we have to be willing to share it, good times and bad times, with those that we love and those that we're with. Finally, as I said, a platoon came in, hauled us out of there. We got to a secured area. Helicopters came in, took us to an aid station where we got touched up, took us to the name. And then we spent a couple days before I went to Tokyo. I spent 3 weeks in the hospital in Tokyo. Had an operation there. I went back to the States. Spent 9 months in the hospital here. I went through 3 more operations. But it's during that period of time, when I was in the net, right out of the field, all those questions that go through our minds at times of easy. Why me? Now what? Where am I going to go? I had something took away from me. Where's my future? And flowing through my head. And across from me was a young soldier.